Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have two of your returning favorites, Mr. Julie Goldman and Brandy Howard, the dynamic duo, life partners. A lot of people ask if you are sexually life partners. No. You still have a husband, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
I like to say not yet.
You also
have a husband. And I don't appreciate everyone poking all their assumptions into our lives. My husband's name is Rick.
Oh.
He was a football player.
Oh, wow. I did not know this.
Okay. Sometimes we go out and play football together.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick's definitely not in the closet.
No. He lifts me up. I lift him up.
That's great.
It's called marriage.
I love that. I love that. Well, it's always nice for the Juicy Scoopers to learn something new about our returning guests.
Thank you.
I want to get into the story that's been going around. I mentioned it a little bit on a Patreon a week ago, but I just love it so much, and I'm not exactly sure if you guys are aware, but there was a reporter in Anchorage, Alaska, that was having an affair with the mayor, and she found out she was doing a report, like interviewing someone, and she was under the assumption that maybe he had done something where he posted some nudes on like an underage site or something. But also, he said they had an inappropriate texting relationships. Clearly, they were broken up when she left this message, okay? And now it's been clear that he did not do anything with underage girls at all. But when the message was left, this was the message. This is the girl. Here we go.
Ethan, it's Maria Athens from Fox ABC CW Newsnet National Alaska. I just learned through my Emmy Award-winning journalism, you're also a pedophile and like little girls and children. And there's a website. I'm so fucking exposing you. I'm going to get an Emmy. So you either turn yourself in, kill yourself, or do what you need to do. I will personally kill you and Mark Kimmel, my goddamn self, you Jewish piece of living fucking shit. You have met your match, motherfucker. You have met your motherfucking match. I can't believe I am such a good person. God, I love you. I fucking hate, I don't even hate you. I will pray for your Zionist fucking ass, you piece of shit loser. And I'm putting this on the news tonight. Bye. Have a great Friday, you motherfucker.
Wow.
I can't stop listening to it.
Wow.
That is.
I really can't.
Wow.
I cannot stop listening to it. It's so amazing. And so we sent you guys some emails over the week because we're going to do a long episode. We're going to split it in two. So they were going to save this one for a couple weeks from now. But we're going to get a great episode in with them now. So we want to do some Juicy Scoop topics. We wanted you guys to like see if you want to hear. Kelly wrote you guys and sent it. And she said, I've sent 3 messages and they have like completely ghosted. So I was like, you motherfucker. Okay, now you listen to the message.
Okay, so then you called and left a message, and
no one listens to voicemail messages. So you see that someone calls and you just call them back, which
Right.
she did or texted.
Yeah.
And then you never go back and listen to the voicemail
No.
message because it's 2020.
no, and
The
I
Alaska
wonder.
guy probably didn't even listen.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's your message.
Okay.
Julie, Heather McDonald from KBAC Juicy Scoop in Calabasas, California. How are you? Why haven't you answered our email? Have you heard that voicemail?
Okay, but now that I want to do it even better. Now I want to do it even better, okay?
We actually should have had you do it.
I mean,
Julie and Brandy, Heather McDonald from #1 pop culture podcast, Juicy Scoop in Calabasas, California. How the fuck are you? We wrote you 3 texts and 4 voicemail messages and 3 emails. You lazy pieces of shit. We came up with a lot of juicy topics, and now you're just fucking ignoring Kelly. You lazy motherfuckers. I'm gonna fucking get you. Have a great fucking day.
Don't forget to call Julie Jewish.
she left out.
Oh yeah, you Julie,
Jew.
you bigot, Jew, lesbian, and your fucking beard. I know you too, sister. I'm sick of hearing that she has a husband that nobody sees. You guys are never coming back on Juicy Scoop again. You got it? Have a great day, motherfucking bitches.
She talked about my beard. How does she know I have a fucking beard? I go to fucking laser. I get this shit taken off.
Is that amazing?
That is.
So she doesn't get in trouble for literally threatening his life more than
Yeah,
what she
she's
said.
in trouble. She's done. You
Okay.
think she's still on the news?
No, but
you
is
think
she-
she's interviewing Sarah Palin today?
Is it
no,
a,
it's
is
done.
it a federal offense to say I'm gonna literally come and fucking kill you?
I mean, I think they know she's insane. At the same time, she was also boning her station manager, who at one point she punched in the face. I just heard about that today.
She is heaven. Are you
Wow.
trying to get her on here like literally within 7 business days? I mean, the woman is
Yeah.
a national treasure.
national treasure.
The voicemail messages are amazing because, like you said, people don't really leave them. But I have a sister in my life, and people that listen to me on Patreon know. And she was the queen of voicemail messages. She got into texting towards the end of our relationship because we don't talk now. But the voicemail messages that she would leave, and the answering machine for my parents over the years is this girl. Like, it completely, hi, like just.
But then would she get hostile on the message?
Oh yeah, like, and she would do that little like, oh, you think you're so fucking cute, right? With your chicken legs and your flat ass, trotting around. Nobody likes you. Nobody. Like, it was just like, I mean, amazing. So I'm obsessed with it, and I thought like the world had heard about this story, but then I was listening to Heidi, Frosty, and Frank, and they mentioned it again, and like the person, like that.
No, if
just
we
someone
had gotten
heard
that,
it.
would we have thought Heather's like off her meds?
Yeah,
Or
I was like, oh my god, what did I
where
do?
do we know?
Yeah,
Do we know?
what the fuck?
We know she's in Calabasas. That's strange.
Yeah.
Why is she?
Also, she's on KCRBG TV, Juicy Scoop. I mean, that I don't. I want her to call me. I want her to call me, and I want her to yell at me and call me a Jew.
Oh, please. So she should
God.
get
I
on
mean-
that thing where they leave you messages. You know.
Oh my God, she needs to be on Cameo.
Yeah.
She needs to be on Cameo
I
right
think-
now. That lady needs to be on Cameo.
Oh
Like, hey,
my-
fuckface.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Happy birthday, you
Happy
dumb
birthday,
Jew,
you piece
bitch.
of shit Jew.
We'll have to do a
Love
little
you. Have a
disclaimer.
great
Make sure the
day.
kids are in the car for the first part of the show.
yeah.
But remind me. But yes, I think that would be an amazing thing. A lot of people do cameos, and it would be a fun thing to send it to your friend that are like obsessed
Yeah.
with it.
Yes.
Or you guys, you know what? Just get us. We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
I do Ramona. I do Luann. I do Drew Barrymore. So I do it all on the cameo. You don't actually need to
Yeah.
get the real star.
Well,
or
now
the
you can do her.
the real Emmy award-winning journalist here.
Emmy award
She could become a dominatrix as well.
She should.
Oh,
She's
yes.
having sex with a guy and then punch him in the face.
That's golden.
She used to
People will
call
love it.
Rick.
And golden showers. All right, let's get into some other juicy stuff that's currently happening. Okay, do you know about this crazy affair? Okay, let me tell you about it. This is Dominic, what's his, West. He's 50. He's English, but he was on The Affair on Showtime. He's worked a
that
lot.
actor.
He's a great actor. He's pretty sexy.
And this story is about an affair.
He is married
Ironic.
to this woman. They have 4 kids. They've been married for 10 years, have 4 kids.
God.
He is doing a movie where he's playing Lily James's father, and they are absolutely having an affair. Here are the photos.
Who is Lily James? Do we know who that
But
is?
the thing is that people are happy about is that while they're having the affair and he's like grabbing her from behind, they are wearing their masks, which is all that matters. Forget that.
Social
Forget
distancing.
Forget that.
Social distancing is important while romancing your co-host,
Your daughter.
Your co-star
who
and
plays your
destroying-
daughter.
So then, after this came out, which I was because I was obsessed with it because I was obsessed with the Showtime series that ran for 7 years called The Affair. There were good seasons and bad. I couldn't get enough of it. I still watched it, even when they like jumped to the future and the whole Hamptons was global warming, and it was super depressing. That was the worst. But the first couple seasons of the show, if you guys have not watched, put it on a rainy day.
Oh, we had to watch it
Rub
on
a
People's
few
Couch.
out. There's some real good sex scenes, like, let me lift up your waitressing skirt around the corner and, in Montauk.
Yeah,
or
she's
whatever
at like the oyster diner
she works at
or
the
whatever.
lobster roll. Yeah,
Right.
it's just. But after that, they staged other photos, he and his wife, where they're like, we're in love, everything's fine. Like they're literally, they were like making out in front of their house in London with like conveniently paparazzi just walking around like it's 2006. I mean, anybody that gets snapshots of you that you want to have been taken, you called them.
Yeah, for sure.
And if
Well,
you
we
don't
know-
want them to be taken, then maybe they got a tip and they did hide behind the bushes.
Oh yeah, and you're disgusting and drunk and falling down.
Yes.
And you're not looking beautiful making out with your
Or your
husband.
your tampon string is hanging out
Yes.
from your dress after a fun night.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I mean, how many times?
Yes.
How many times? We're at the Hive. We're, right? Isn't that what it's
You're
called?
at Pump.
I'm at Pump and just like, getting out of the Malorian and then just, and, when you wear a short skirt, sometimes you're just not thinking and it just
When
is
you wear a
coming
short
out.
skirt with a tiny G,
Yeah, exactly.
and you're still youthful enough to get your period, and you've had a few drinks, and that string just
It goes on the
sometimes
side of that.
just right on the
that
side
thong.
of the G. Sometimes you're just drinking and you don't have your period, but you put a tampon in. Because you
just to
think-
look youthful.
Just
I
to look youthful.
I worked on a show where people thought one girl was packing just to show people that she was packing. And
Like, my tampon.
yeah, like like I just flubbering over, and they're like,
Like, I have to
she's
take
like-
my birth control pills now.
yeah.
My IUD, I got it taken out, but I have to do the pills now.
My cramps are so much right now. I need to put a tampon in. Okay.
Yeah,
Like
but I do
that.
think the great rule for any woman is when you are at that age, a certain age, the length of your skirt should exceed the length of your tampon string. Just a little.
I think that's
Yeah.
a good
Some
rule.
people do like a hand above their knee, or sometimes,
Yeah.
there's things, but that's something my grandmother always told me.
I'll tell you what, if I had to wear a skirt, I know that my tampon string would come out because I can't keep my legs shut.
Oh.
And
You
you
know what
have
I
to
mean?
use extra
Well, we know that-
extra large, super absorbent tampons.
Also true. Enormous.
And we know that because Rick loves you in
Rick.
a skirt.
Rick. Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
He's a leg man.
He's a leg man, and he goes, you don't need to cross those things. Keep those ham hocks right open. Okay? Keep them open.
So what I think is going on here is I think he did an interview too where he said monogamy is not natural or whatever. I think she knows he fucks around.
So they have like a thing.
I think she wants to stay married, and that's what always kills me is when you have a wife that you're in a marriage where don't ask, don't tell. You go do your thing, don't bring her home, don't get her pregnant, but also don't get caught by the paparazzi. So I'm embarrassed at the ladies' luncheon. Let the world think that you're madly in love with me, and I'm going to let you do your thing. But once the world knows, now I'm in jeopardy. Now I look like the idiot. You fuckface. Like, it's so dumb. And so now we have to stage something and act like it's all good in the world. Because I'm not divorcing you, because I have no intention of divorcing you. I don't want to divorce you. I'm kind of okay with you screwing your co-star. I really don't care.
Maybe she
Maybe
thinks
she's
it's
got
hot.
But maybe
she's
she's
got
got
into
one
it.
too.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Maybe they
let's
have
hope.
like an open thing, but now it's like, oh, now the whole world has to know that we're open.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like Harvey Weinstein's wife.
Oh, you don't think she was boning him every night and that she was terribly jealous that he was
Raping everyone
Yeah,
that came into his
yeah.
room.
When she was so horrified and divorced him. I mean, it was like, okay.
what you do to have a
Yeah.
fashion line.
Yeah. I mean,
To get you know
You did what?
to get Felicity Huffman to wear your white Grecian dress
Yeah.
on the red carpet, the things that you have to do. But she had it good. She was like, I got my thing.
yeah.
I'm married to a pig.
She's
Oh,
gorgeous.
I don't think she thought he was raping anyone or endorsing that, but I think she knew he was getting sex elsewhere, consensually,
like,
or people wanting to
fingers
be in
crossed.
movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So she was like, I don't need to do it with you, so I don't really care. And then finds out that, oh no, this is the raping. And then she's like, oh God. So then she has to go away. But I think she's back. I think she's still designing her clothes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Somebody wore Marchesa to like whatever event, and everyone's like, shouldn't they be distancing themselves from Harvey Weinstein's wife? And they're like, no,
No one cares.
no one could cast anyone in Hollywood if we all distanced ourselves
Yeah.
from people that have boned him. Where would
Also
Nicole
true.
Kidman's career be allegedly?
Allegedly. I'm still waiting for the true feminist that has not emerged. And the true feminist, in my opinion, is a woman who comes out and says, hi, remember, I have an idea of who I think it could be, someone like this, which I won't say. Let's what I'm saying. Someone of the age and acting caliber and stardom, not saying it's her, like a Sharon Stone, not saying it's her. She comes out and is like, maybe she needs to write a book because this would be the book to sell, and says, yeah, I screwed him, or I screwed someone similar to that so that I could get in the room and get the part. Once I got that part, you guys all fell in love with me.
Right.
I got nominated. From there, I did, 10 years of top movies. I got an Oscar.
Yeah.
I knew I was that talented, but I knew I was never going to get there because my dad isn't Spielberg and my mom isn't,
Yeah.
I'm not Kate Hudson. And so I knew I had to go through the vagina. Some people go through the casting couch, the back door, the writer's room. I'm going through my vagina.
The vagina.
The vagina.
Yes.
The vagina.
The vagina.
I feel all the suspects who
Yes.
didn't say Me Too, didn't even post a Me Too, because there's some people who said that didn't happen with him, but they still did a Me Too
Right.
in the
'cause
moment.
Right.
But there's a handful.
Yes.
And I won't say, but I mean, I've said a million times who I think they are, but I think those women did it, and I think they did
Absolutely.
it calculated, and I was like, slow clap for you, and that includes Nicole Kidman, because Nicole Kidman's so talented. Like, what I mean, and all of the girls that I think did it, where I'm so thrilled they're in movies, I'm like, do you?
Well, that girl Charlotte Kirk, she just came out and she didn't want to come out, but they exposed the story of how she had sex with the what's his name, the head of Paramount, the other guy, that whole, I've talked about the whole story. I don't know all the players, but she's now disappeared. Oh no, like she wants to be an actor, but her texts to these guys are
that's
like,
right.
really? One line in Ocean's 8? Like, I just screwed the Asian head of Paramount, your friend, so that you could do your $40 million deal, Brett Ratner, at, Bel Air Hotel. And you give me one line?
That's
One
the
walk
gamble.
on a sitcom?
That's the gamble.
Like, what? So that is someone who calculatedly said, yeah, I'll bone for a part. I'll bone to get to the place where I don't have to bone anymore.
When that happened with Harvey Weinstein, I showed up and was like, he's really alone. He's really isolated. This could be my time to shine. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? You enter the hotel room?
No, I just showed up into my own life and went, let's see, what can I do here? Should I go to his jail cell? He was isolated in the hotel. I'm like, I could. There's just so many possibilities here. I'm like, no one's touching him with a 10-foot pole.
No.
He's not going to care that I'm way out of his age range. He's desperate.
Right. No. Yeah. Now it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for that one to be like, I'm the true feminist because I'm actually speaking up. And I actually used my body as a feminist. Now everybody is like, sex positive, sex workers, OnlyFans, the slut walk of, Amber Rose. So if that's really the way we feel, then what are you ashamed about?
Yeah.
We're just supposed to think that a certain actress got these parts when she was 22 and she's playing a 30-year-old, and that makes sense in Hollywood.
And you've never seen her
and
ever?
You've never seen her ever,
like,
and
what?
she just shows up, a little pudding face with nothing to like.
In movies with like Tom Cruise, it's like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Movies with Al Pacino.
Do you
Where
think
have
that
you
it
been?
would change though? Do you think that the Harvey Weinstein thing is going to change anything, or everything's just going to stay the same?
I think the world has changed as far as I don't think any of that shit matters as much.
Right.
I don't think Oscars matter as much. I think, we've turned everything upside on its head in Hollywood, and so many more people can shine and be somewhat independent. And I don't think even people coming up, that is like their dream. I don't think there's kids at home being like, they're not practicing the Oscar, they're practicing the TikTok dance.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to be a TikTok star and live in a house with other TikTok people and buy my mom a car and then put it on TikTok.
And by the way,
I'm
some
21.
of those young YouTube guys play that game too.
Yeah.
They sit and,
the YouTube guy?
oh my God.
They're
there's-
boning Jeffree Star to get a makeup palette?
Oh, some of the boys are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then there are story after story of guys on YouTube that get these young girls that make comments, and then one weird couple,
Oh my
whatever his name
God,
is,
I
they
can't remember his name.
adopted like a 15-year-old girl, and they've like gotten in trouble like
I think they're both in jail now.
yeah.
What do you mean? Because she can do the TikTok dance?
No, well,
Yeah,
she did the TikTok dance, if you know what we mean. Yeah, they were like, oh, come on, you want to come move in with us?
Right. Like using their sexual, basically, predatorizing, and then the person ends up feeling that they have to do it, and blah, 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 blah. So it's everywhere. I mean, it happens everywhere. There's not one industry where it doesn't happen. In finance and whatever. It is.
I would definitely be the girl that got the one line in Ocean's 8 when I did all of Paramount. I'm like, great.
I made Brandon do a TikTok video with me yesterday. There's a TikTok trend going, I'm pretending to be my wife's pretending to be me, and you like come home and you act like you're your husband or your wife. And I said, why don't you pretend to be me, Brandon? My 14-year-old, I'll pretend to be you. And, he fought me a little bit on it. And then
He's like, don't bug on my TikTok.
And I just go, this is the gig. I go, do you How do you live? And he goes, you? I go, exactly. I go, I'm not making you get on a roof in 120-degree weather and replace shingles. He's like, shingles is a skin disease. What are you talking about? And I go, I'm saying you don't have to be a roofer. And he goes, well, I don't think there's a lot of parents making them dress up like a 50-year-old woman either. And I go, well, this one is.
Touche,
He did
Brandon.
it. He did it. It's up, available at Heather McDonald. And I think he shined.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
I mean, your kids are very talented.
But I mean, you know what?
Now,
That's
it's
the
a
way
family
it
business.
is.
Is he on TikTok?
Yes. The first TikTok video that we did that he didn't want to be tagged. He said, I don't want a bunch of Karens following me. I said, I don't believe I have Karens following me. You know, hopefully you'll get a couple young girls to follow you if they see you. You know, he goes, dressed up like you? And I go, maybe, I don't know. So this last one that we put up, it's not going like gangbusters, okay? Like the other one did. And
Where you forced him to hug you?
yes, the hugging one got 8.9.
Yeah.
Okay, this one, it's like a slow rise. So I'm going to put it on Instagram. So by the time you guys hear this, this will be on my Instagram at Heather McDonald, and you're going to see the video and tell me what you think. But yeah, so we tagged him this time. So we'll see if his life changes. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, Julie wants to wrestle Chris Frangiola in your backyard while you
here
walk
we
in a
go.
bikini like a WrestleMania girl, and
Yes.
your,
Hear
and your
us
two
out.
kids and,
Yeah.
and your guy judge.
Okay, let's do it.
Here's the pitch. Okay.
We all get COVID tests first.
Of course. I
Then-
mean, we're wearing invisible masks right now.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
We're going to really hype up
Yeah.
the drama
Yeah.
between us and Chris Frangiola.
Okay.
But I will be the one to wrestle Chris Frangiola. So we'll do a WWE
Okay.
style wrestling / competition in your backyard.
And are Brandy and I just in hot bathing suits?
Well, that I mean, you
Could
could
we do hot
be,
bathing suits with like
or,
a little like cover up? Maybe?
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
little
exactly.
No, we also
like a see-through cover up. I'm okay with that.
Right. And then
Mid
we'll hold the
thigh.
sign.
Yeah, then I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can really
We're
like,
moo-moos. Yeah.
you know, we could do arm wrestling, we do darts,
like it.
we can do regular, but like we can really, you know, and I would just really go for it.
I think
like full wrestling.
I think it's such a good idea. Like, move
Then
over.
you got Drake and Brandon
Move
judging.
over the
Yeah,
Bella
Peter.
sisters. Or what are they called?
Yeah.
Forget
Right.
it.
What are those Bella sisters? Hello,
think- I
Bella.
don't
know.
What is it? Just Bellows? Just the Bellas.
Yeah, they had the babies at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine.
I think
You know
we
what I
should
mean?
do it.
And we could call you guys the Bella
other
sisters, you and Chris.
juicy stories. Now we're going to get into some juicy scoop history. Do you remember the story of Sienna Miller and Jude Law? Let me remind you. They met on the set of a movie in 2003 when he was going through a divorce with his first wife of 6 years. Then they got engaged in 2003. 2005, they marry. And then the nanny from his first marriage is still babysitting his kids, her stepchildren. And she contacted the press and said that they have been boning. And then he publicly apologized, and they were on and off until 2010, and now they're no longer together. So imagine being the other woman who then, she is the other woman. You know the photo.
Dude, I'm right here.
No, the nanny was like another hot, pretty blonde.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you do the nanny. And I've always said, I think boning the nanny is the laziest. I mean, Arnold did the maid, which we talked about last time. But the nanny is even, I don't know which one is more lazy. I think the live-in nanny is even more lazy because it's like even around your kids. So if you do decide to fall in love with them, like Robin Williams married his nanny, it's already set. You don't have to do the introductions.
Yeah.
So you're like, let me try to bone the person down the hall. And if it works out, then
Yeah.
we're all good.
It's like when you go to dinner and your friend's like hitting on the waitress and it's like, she's forced to be here. Leave her alone, please.
Yeah, she's being nice for a tip.
Yeah.
She's not. Yeah, she's waiting on you hand and foot. Well, she should.
Yeah.
It's not because you're that hot. You sat on her station, you loser.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it.
Now, the whole thing, though, with that nanny, first of all, I remember Sienna Miller is like a straight goddess to me.
Gorgeous.
And Jude Law's hair plugs here are really sitting because he's definitely one of the people who've gotten the hair transplants. And if we go down that
Really?
road, the before,
His face is gorgeous though. And do you remember? Wasn't he in Talented Mr. Ripley?
yeah, look
He's
how
in
sexy he
so
looks right there
many-
too.
Yes.
I mean, it's his vibe there. It's like,
Was
you know.
he in, can you look up was he in Match Point? Who was in Match Point?
That was Jonathan Taylor
Thomas?
Jonathan
Taylor Thomas?
Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Oh.
Remember him?
That's another Juicy Scoop movie, you guys. If you have not seen, it's one of my favorite movies with Scarlett Johansson. Have you ever seen it?
Unfortunately, it's Woody Allen, isn't it?
He wrote and produced it, but it was so good because we didn't have to see his ugly face
Yeah.
and like 19-year-olds trying to bone
It's
him
like the best movie
at a
he's ever
coffee
done.
shop.
Yeah.
Like he finally just like wrote something and didn't star in it, and it's so juicy and so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Well, so the deal with one thing is that Sienna Miller called Pittsburgh Schittsburg, and that was like the insult heard around the nation, which was great. And then
when did she do that? Just in an
she
interview?
was doing like a movie. She's like, "Oh, it's Schittsburg," and everyone was like, "No, that's really, you're doing your movie there." And she's,
Is
she's
she
British.
American or English?
She's British.
Okay.
So then the thing about the nanny, though, this is the real tea. The nanny, I don't know if it was after she put them on blast for the affair, but there was a whole thing with that nanny and saying that they were, because him and the original wife were like, they're obviously like, they party. They're British, you know what I mean? That's just, if they don't party, I'm offended. But they had like ecstasy strewn around, and the kid got a hold of like ecstasy.
Okay.
And the nanny, and I don't know if it was because she was offended by that or what the deal was, but she put that in the press. That
the nanny, before she started boning Jude?
I'm sure she was either,
It was the same nanny?
yeah, had to have been. Because of course she's disgruntled and offended. Maybe she broke up, or he broke up with her.
Yes.
But she put it in the press that the kid got a hold of the ecstasy. From
Other
their wild party.
other great nanny bones, obviously Ben Affleck. She disappeared. I thought she'd be, showing us a new clothing line by now. Fell off the face of the earth. And the other one was Gwen Stefani.
Oh, no,
Gwen Stefani's nanny started to bone.
Gavin Rossdale?
Yeah. After she gave her all her clothes. So there was literally a photo of the nanny in like a cute pair of like designer overalls that Gwyneth had worn.
Or Gwen. You don't do that to
Gwyneth,
Gwen.
sorry,
You don't
Gwen.
do that to Gwen Stefani. You don't. I'm
You
sorry,
don't take
but you don't.
her hand-me-down clothes and then her hand-me-down dick.
No.
You find your own. Some things are not meant to be at a second-hand store.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't care how designer it is.
forgot
I don't
that.
care how many or how great records they've had. Just buy fresh from
Yeah.
Amazon. Yes.
I was a nanny. And
Wait.
I want to tell you.
This is a safe place. It's time
I haven't
to tell
told Rick yet, but
it's time to do your Me Too story, please.
I couldn't. Their hands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just bizarre to me that for a long time ago, I was in the nanny circuit.
oh my
So-
God. I think that's putting it, I think that's laying that on a little thick.
All I'm saying is, I never saw any hot nannies.
Well, I'll tell you one
okay?
thing, that they didn't have good
And
boundaries with her. They had a baby
This is true.
with like a doula or house baby. What's it called?
Yeah, they had a house baby.
Yeah, whenever you have your baby in your home.
in home.
They blew out the baby in the house, and it just
midwife,
popped out the
midwife.
stairs.
And they
Midwife.
called Julie over, okay, and I'm quite sure it was still this type of vibes. And
Hey guys, what's up?
and they're like,
Heard you're having a baby.
can you watch our other kid while we have this baby in the bedroom?
in the bathtub or whatever.
And I'm
yeah.
like to her, where was their family? Why were you there? Where was her mom, his mom, their
Yeah.
sisters and brothers, their extended family? Why did they need you to come over and sit with their child in the other room while they're
Because they
naked?
needed me to move furniture,
Yeah.
obviously, too. I don't.
So I just feel like that's a strange boundary. It's not.
It was a strange boundary. I mean, being a nanny is weird. You become part of the family. All I'm saying is, I don't understand with what I saw.
Yeah.
No one was boning any nannies. You know what I mean?
In your
because I
crew.
would think that the people, whoever is hiring these people, have thought it through.
Well, I think that even though it sounds like we hear about it a lot, we don't. I've only named 4 celebrities that ended up with their nannies. So I think that you're right in that I don't think it's a common thing that happens. And it is sort of unfortunate because I had a really cute nanny. My sister had a really cute nanny. Nothing happened with them.
Why would you hire a cute nanny?
Because she was my husband. It was these triplet nannies that went to the Catholic school, and they were
getting
triplet
sexier
sisters.
and sexier.
I know,
Go
it
on.
sounds so sexy.
Hold on.
And-
press record.
and don't say Catholic
And
school
they're
triplets.
good. They were just good girl. Obviously, Peter, and also. We never had a thing where someone was like around all the time and I was doing a movie for 3 months and I
Right.
left my husband alone with the nanny and the baby was 6 months old. I mean, my kids were like 4 or 5 and up, and it was just like during the day, during the summer.
So it's like a babysitter,
Yeah, it was
rather
like
than like a live-in
Yeah,
nanny.
no, never a
Yeah.
live-in, but And then my sister had a really attractive nanny too, but it was the same thing. It was just like, I don't know. Like I wouldn't. And you find someone you like them, and it's like we shouldn't be.
No, you shouldn't be.
Just because someone's attractive shouldn't be that they can't get a job.
Well, yeah, it's Peter's fault if you can't hire the nanny.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Like, why can't you hire? Like that is just as bad as saying like I don't want to hire you because you're not cute enough. Like if you're like,
you're
so
right.
what that you're cute and like have a decent body and can fit on the rides at Disneyland with your kid. Like, what is that such a bad thing that you can like, be active with your, and you kind of want someone who's like active and young and they might be cute.
That's true.
I mean, I knew a girl named Mila who was like very like beautiful, and she was a surfer and long hair, and she was so gorgeous. And she was like, yeah, I was Kelly Preston and John Travolta's nanny. They took me to Hawaii, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean,
let me guess.
I think we can
never made a move.
Yeah.
Total gentleman.
I never thought, why would Kelly Preston bring you along? I knew why.
Yeah, and why she didn't choose a Manny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also liked getting massages.
She didn't choose Julie.
Yeah.
Because at that point, now Julie had been like, I was objectified.
I didn't understand what he was doing to me. Right.
So juicy. Okay, wait, what was this story? Oh, this was good. Okay, this is another classic. Mary Louise Parker. Now, for those of you that are a little young, she's acted her whole life. She's really great. She was in a hit show called Weeds, which was all about before weed was legal. And so she was like a single mother selling weeds in like what looked to be like Westlake Village.
Very cutting edge.
Very cutting edge. She cheated. Billy Crudup, who was her baby daddy, she was 7 months pregnant. I don't know that they were married. No, they weren't married. He left her for his co-star, Claire Danes, when she was 7 months pregnant. And Claire Danes did an interview with Howard Stern and said, quote, I was just in love and needed to explore that. And Claire Danes remained with Billy for 4 years, and then she moved on with her husband now, Hugh.
Well, once you break that
Dancy,
up,
and then I think
you've
she had
got
a
to
baby
commit
with him. Yeah.
You know?
But
I remember an award show where,
it's bad enough
she was
to
there
be
pregnant at the award show, like right after it broke. And you know, Claire Danes was probably nominated for like Homeland or whatever it was. And it was like, wow, this is awkward. And she's like pregnant at this awards show.
Mary Louise Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to be pregnant and like, and then to have the dude cheat. Like, really? Well, like.
And did that ruin him?
You weren't letting me get when you got to 6 months. So, what do you expect me to do?
And how that would just make you feel so, I mean, yeah.
And they were together really, really long. And then like she finally got pregnant, like kind of a little bit, I think she was like in her early 40s when she got pregnant. And then to then have him, who was a little younger than her, then leave her for a girl that was like 15 years younger than Mary Louise Parker.
And you know who else did that? Tom Brady. Tom freaking Brady was with, what is that girl?
Bridget.
Yes. And Bridget Moynihan had is it Bridget Moynihan? Is that her last name? She had just had that baby. Maybe their little son was like a year. And he gets with Giselle Bündchen. Like, I can't. Like, go ahead and cheat with Claire Danes, but don't leave me with the 1-year-old for Giselle Bündchen. I will.
But Bridget is like equally gorgeous. And I think that story looks really bad, but that's one of those stories where I'm like, do we really? Because I mean, I've heard that they were really not together.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine that he broke up with her. I just don't need you to move on with Giselle.
I heard that they have like really kind of have a decent situation going with the older boy and then the other Giselle boys.
I saw her on
actually, I know scoop on them.
Okay, let's get it.
It's not that good. They're total delights. Speaking of which, I'm just remembering, I had a nanny call me and give me all this scoop. And I was just in my kitchen, she's giving me scoop. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this, But now I remember. She said, Tom Brady, total delight. Giselle, too, would like pick her up at the airport. He would pick her up himself, never a move, nothing, which was probably disappointing. But anyway, he never made a move or anything. She's like,
thanks for picking me up.
They would take her on trips, but so often they were like, we're going to take the kids out to dinner tonight. You're fine. You know how many feel as long as we have the nanny, let's make sure the nanny's like entertaining them. They would like do so many things with the kids, and she would have like an entire 2 days off or, and they'd still pay her, and they'd be like, okay, we only need you for this one little time, but we'd rather have you because they're comfortable with you. But if we're going to be all at the beach together, you can go have a fun day in the city. Like, don't even worry about it. So they were delights. And she said that the whole thing with that older boy and everything was like very good.
Yeah. I mean, I think they seem nice. I just think that first year, it's just like, really? The biggest supermodel I couldn't just get, you know. And I know that I saw her on like David Letterman or something back in the day.
Giselle?
No, Bridget. And she was like, I don't have a TV. And then I was like, yep, that's why Tom Brady left you. Go ahead and get a TV. I'm going to need you to have a TV in the home and have it turned on. It bugs so hard when people are not now with like the young kids. Like Kelly probably doesn't have a TV. Like she like does everything on the computer. This is young kid stuff. Bridget, this was in the time when you had a flat screen or you were just a dish. But even
like if you have a couple bones, just have one good TV that you can stream your stuff on. So when you can have a few people over, you don't even have to huddle around the iPad. You know, I understand if you're in the dorm, but like if you're 25 and you have a decent apartment, just
you're not
get one TV.
Like, I only read.
Yeah, when you're on your phone the whole time.
I don't watch things with my eyes move on a screen.
That's how it was.
I don't do that.
Yeah, that's the big mistake.
I don't understand that culture.
Oh, here she is pregnant at the award show that you talked about.
She looks great. Good for her. Great.
This is one of my favorite cheating stories.
Wow, looks like just a full peel.
Well, okay, first of all,
the full skin came off.
We're talking about Kathie Lee Gifford and what was his name? Frank Gifford.
And Kathie Lee is a delight for the ages, man.
I mean,
she could have left the message like the
so as you guys know, she is a widow. He did pass a couple years ago. They had a really big age difference. How many? Can you look up what their exact age difference was, Kelly? I know he died in 2015 at 84 years old.
Oh, and he was like a big football star.
He was a big football star. Obviously, I think he was married before. She was the hot young thing. And, you know, she's always been very Christian faith-based. And then she had 2 kids with him that were little at the time this happened. They were Cody
and Savannah?
Cassidy. 23-year age difference. She had Cody and Cassidy. Oof. And she was, you know, Regis and she were the queen and king of daytime. And the story behind this is he got caught cheating with a flight attendant named Susan Johnson. I mean, what a name. Like the most, you know, made up name. Like something you're just like, I don't know what her name was. Susan Johnson. Okay. Susan Johnson. And I remember seeing the photos on the cover of the Inquirer, like through a lens of them absolutely making out, embracing at like some hotel.
The hotel.
And later on, there's been speculation or rumors or something that it was completely set up. Like she was hired by a magazine or something, or maybe these are just alleged things and sort of trick, you know, obviously he still did it, but almost like a decoy was there. And it was out and she had to talk about it. Like, you know, she had to make a statement on the show and with tears in her eyes.
I thought that there was a recording of him saying like really filthy stuff.
Yeah, didn't they
look up a recording?
They did like the booty. They went and they did it in the B.
Right.
No way.
Yes, that was the thing they did it in the B.
Because that was the whole thing.
I'm doing this for the children in the car. I didn't even realize that was the thing.
Yes.
I've been cussing so much every time I've been here.
Yes.
I'll stop doing that.
No, it's fine.
I know. I was about to say.
Okay, we were looking up if about this booty talk.
He either talked about it after or it was something with a recording because he says he wanted to do it in the B or he did it in the B because she won't or something like that. And it was real hardcore.
Which, I mean, let's not. I think Kathie is a freak in the sheets. Okay,
I think she's
an angel and she's very
again. Talk about it. You're like, I'm gorgeous. I'm Christian. I can sing. I'm in everyone's living room every morning, and they love
hilarious.
Me. I'm
Great
a delight.
Yeah.
I give you 2 perfect children specimens, Cody and Cassidy, both with the letter C. I mean, I'm screwing you, you old man.
Yeah.
I know you played football 55 years ago, but I'm fucking Kathie Lee Gifford, and you go with coffee, tea, or milk? Which, by the way, that's such an old saying because no one ever says that. It's more like, would you like a drink? Or we're not serving any drinks.
Or wake up, sir.
Yeah.
What do you just stop drooling on the... Wake up. Right.
Because
this
what?
flight
He
attendant,
needed so badly
the attention.
For the A.
and the
in the A.
in the B.
And then does she have to go, oh my God, am I not giving you enough attention because I have to get up at 5 a.m. and do my morning show with Regis?
And sorry, I didn't want to do the due diligence in my B to be able to do
Sorry,
that.
I didn't, go down on you before I did, coffee with Regis. Like, I'm sorry that I was changing a diaper that day. Like,
But the thing is, then she stayed
She
on
stayed
the
with him,
and
though.
she stayed on the show. Which, if you think about, and I don't want to say anything about our queen, and I support Julie Chen Moonves to the end of the earth. And I'm kind of glad she quit the talk because she was too good for the talk, and the talk can bug off. But when it came time to come on there and do whatever they wanted her to do, and with the tears in the eyes and apologize and answer to it, she's like, I'm not answering anything to you. And so she quit the talk. And for her to go on and be like, okay, I gotta go in here and freaking Regis.
Right. Well, she's embarrassed. Like, that's like
she was
embarrassing
embarrassed,
for
but I'm
her,
glad
and
she did because she's like, I had the best job. I mean,
She's
I
not
say this
gonna
all the
lose it,
time.
yeah.
A morning talk show with just you and one other person, Kelly Ripa. Easiest job in the world. Do not tell me it's a hard job. We've all done it to some capacity. I'm basically doing it every day. It's an easy, fun job. It is not hard. The View, I think, is more difficult because you got to have your facts and it's so political and everything. But like talking about fun stuff and what you did, and you went to the pumpkin patch with Cody and Cassidy.
you can do
it
that
was
with your
an
eyes
easy
closed.
25 years, and she was smart, and she could do a Christmas album, and she could sing once in a while for everybody. And she just said, I'm hurt, but I made a commitment, and we're going to work through this. And then there was never, and then they locked up his dick in a little cage.
That's right.
Never happened again.
Do you think he
Wait,
never cheated again?
I don't think he ever cheated again. What do you think?
Of
So
the
Kelly said
audio?
there's Reddit threads about that.
Because the internet didn't exist at that time.
Yeah, so who
Because
knows?
my mom always will talk about Kenny Rogers and how he called phone sex lines, and I'm like, Mom, there's no proof of that anywhere. And it's because the internet didn't exist.
Yeah,
She insists on it though.
right. That probably happened. Yeah.
I mean, probably.
You could do
On the Road Again?
You could
Did you do that
You
song?
could do Regis.
Or was that?
That's Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny Rogers is giving you
know when to hold them.
gambler. Oh yeah. No.
Oh, remember when he got that
gambler.
facelift and everyone was horrified? The worst male facelift.
Ever.
A pioneer of bad male facelifts.
To that point, because
Yeah.
now there's so many floating
Now
around.
there's so many where it's just like, is that person wearing the Mike Myers mask? Oh no, it's just a gay guy in West Hollywood who's pushing 70, and it's like, "Wah!" And they've got a million peels, and it's just like you could see the veins
looks like
coming
that.
through the face.
Yeah, even John Kerry has got. They're starting to see
Oh
these
my
famous.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
and who did we just see? Oh wait, who did we just see? Oh, it was
man?
We won't say it on here.
Okay.
But
Oh yeah, we've talked about it already.
we've talked about his face.
Dane Cook has had work done.
Okay.
I mean, what do you,
Well,
I've had work done.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
I
Like
felt
I've
like
had
it was,
Botox and stuff. Some people get away with it. Some people don't, and we talk about it.
Yeah.
Some people just look like refreshed and have a nice glow, and other people, are you Mike Myers?
Yeah.
It's. I thought Gavin Newsom canceled Halloween. What are you doing? Walking the streets of West Hollywood, your parade's not happening. Go away.
Are your kids not going to do Halloween?
Well, my kids are too old to technically do it, and they're tall, so that it
Makes
would
it
have
even
been
creepier.
Yeah,
like,
real
sir,
creepy.
no.
So
Trick
get-
or treat.
Get on
Yeah.
down the road, guy.
So they're each going to probably hang out with friends, and they'll watch scary movies or whatever. And then I'm staying one extra night in Tempe. I'll be in Tempe, you guys, Tempe Improv, October 29th and 30th. And I'm staying there with my sister and my friend who live in Scottsdale. And we're going to a beautiful restaurant, Ocean's 44. If anyone wants to approach, buy me a drink, whatever. I'm not going to hide.
Scottsdale
Where I'm
is-
going to be that night. Our reservations are at 8. Anyway, we're just gonna have a fun night. I don't know if I want to dress up or what. I might bring like a sexy. You know what I have? And God, it's gonna be hard to find. Might involve cleaning out a closet. I have this alcohol endorsed skeleton outfit that was like a one piece. It's like a one. Listen, you guys, if you just want to be like a little bit lazy, but you still want to look. You want your body to be banging. go get like the black cat suit that then has like the skeleton body on it.
Yeah.
Because it'll make you look so freaking skinny and curvy. And you
it's
can
just the
even do
skeleton is
yes,
the white?
and you can do like a Spanx under it. So this was like that, but it was like a robot outfit. And I do like a Spanx underneath. And I might just do that.
Just throw that on.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going to be the duo of Abby Lee Miller in the wheelchair, and I'm going to be JoJo Siwa. So she's
Where
gonna
are you
be
guys
Abby Lee
going,
Miller.
though?
We have nowhere. Literally, we were going to wear that here.
Oh my God. That's so amazing.
But we have nowhere
Julie's
to do
like,
it.
can I just push you in
So
the
I guess you
wheelchair
guys
down the
just
street?
do it and just post photos?
Oh, we're gonna go on the street. I don't
She
care.
wants to just push the wheelchair down
I
the
just want to
street.
push her down the street in a
I
wheelchair.
think you should.
As JoJo Siwa. I'm JoJo Siwa. Woo! You know what I mean? I'm straight. You know what I mean?
I absolutely know what you mean.
Hey guys.
We heard Jeffree Star's having a Halloween party, so we're totally tone deaf trying to lurk on that.
Well, I saw Jeffree Star at a gas station in Westlake Village with Brandon, and I pulled up and I saw the long blonde hair and this ridiculous like turquoise whatever McLaren. What is that called? McLaren at car, and I was like, and I immediately thought, oh my God! And I saw like what looked to be like a young plastic surgery face and blonde hair. And nails. And usually when you see like a woman in a car like that or a guy, they are the Mike Myers. They are an older person that's had work done. And I could tell that this person had work done, but they weren't older. And I thought, I wonder how this woman got this money, you know?
Or is that Paris Hilton?
Yeah, what is this? And then Brandon goes, oh my God, that's Jeffree Star. So we turn around and we come back and Jeffree is on the phone in the passenger seat. And this other young girl is getting the gas. And I'm like, excuse me, is that Jeffree Star? Yes. And I go, oh, do you work with him? And she said, yes, I'm his assistant. And I said, oh, my son's so excited. She didn't like volunteer or anything. And I said,
Jeffree Star would have lived for your son to go over there.
I think she knew no. Don't you think she knew? Otherwise, she would have said. And I said, I'm Heather McDonald. And she's like, I know who you are. And I said, I'd love to have Jeffree on Juicy Scoop. I'm right in Calabasas. I know that he lives in Hidden Hills. And immediately, did she follow me or I DM'd her? We tried to make something happen. Kelly has been working on it. No response.
If you talk to him, will you see if we can go to the Halloween party? Because that's really... I mean, I know that if your handsome son approached the car, he would have been very flattered.
He's my young one. And neither of my sons are Jeffree's type.
Well,
They're
I think
white and straight and like golfy looking and like not drenched in like Louis Vuitton and like chains.
Straight little prepsters. I think any straight young boy. The fact that your son said, there's Jeffree Star, I even was like...
Yeah,
I'm so touched. I think that's so cute.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but Hidden Hills is known. It's a great place to go for Halloween. But they too have shut down this. They would block off like these streets, and you would see everyone. I've seen Jessica Simpson trick or treating. I've seen Paris Hilton. I've seen so many people trick or treating. I've seen major rappers with their kids. That is all shut down, though. They will not allow the walking around.
Oh.
But you can obviously have a private party at Jeffree Star's, and he can have as many people as he wants,
Well, if you have his address, if we're just going to try to get his address.
We're going to try to hang out at this one particular gas station, I guess.
I think we should
start
getting gas there.
Abby Lee Miller then and JoJo Siwa at the gas station.
Okay, try to do it.
You know what I mean?
I mean, let's talk about the romance that shook the world back in the 90s. Between Ellen DeGeneres, newly out Ellen DeGeneres, and not out Anne Heche. Julie, you have been a lifelong registered lesbian.
Yes.
For decades.
Decades.
I know this year might be different.
Well, I did. Finally, I met the right one, Rick. What my mother, what people say, it's true. It's true. It's a preference.
With this story, you guys, Anne Heche was like an up-and-coming actress, and she was straight. And she looked across the room at the Vanity Fair party and saw Ellen and spoke about later on once they were together that she never was with a woman before. It was just absolutely amazing. And they went public at the Volcano premiere. And she told an interesting story she told this story about how they wanted her for 6 days and 7 nights with Harrison Ford. And she shared the story on Dancing with the Stars recently. And she'd just come out as Ellen's girlfriend. And even Ellen was like, keep it quiet if it means that you can't like get movies or whatever. She did lose like $1.5 million worth of some other movie where they pulled the offer because she was gay and they wanted her to be this sexy heterosexual girl. But Harrison Ford said, no, I want her to be my co-star in 7 days and 6 nights. And so she told that story on Dancing with the Stars, and then she got kicked off with Dancing with the Stars. So she's pissed now, saying, you wanted me to tell that story, you wanted to get to the juicy story, and then you kicked me off. So fuck you. Something just swam up my pants. I always remember that line because it was like the trailer that they kept playing of 7 days. Was it 7 days and 8 nights?
Yeah. I like that movie.
7 days. What?
Good for Harrison Ford.
6 days, 7 nights.
6 days, 7 nights. Interesting, because when you go to a hotel, it's always 2 nights, 3 days. It should be the other way around.
Yeah. You don't get one extra night because then what are you checking out in the middle?
Anyway,
18 days, 42 nights.
Anyway, the movie was not about that. Okay, what are your thoughts?
Okay, sorry. First of all, the pertinent information is that she thought that she was an alien.
Yes, we have that down. Celeste, what was her name?
Celestia.
Celestia, yes. Tell us about that.
I mean, apparently she went to Barbara Walters and said that she had a very tumultuous upbringing and she's insane and that she had to go into an alter personality named Celestia, who is an alien from another world.
A fourth dimension. Something.
Right.
Yeah.
Called labia. I love labia.
Oh, you think that's what it was? Code for no.
Right. I mean,
so do you think the alien was always
maybe that was it?
That the Celestia was
planet scissoring. She was Celestia from Scissor Planet.
You think she always that alien always identified as a gay woman?
I don't know that she did. She
not
say
as
that?
a cis female,
but that's what I'm thinking.
Do you imagine if we went back and she actually used the word cis female like 20 years ago? Like what? Where the fuck did that come from?
Then she should really be angry because she was like, I was there before anyone else.
Yeah.
Now, I thought she got kicked off of Dancing with the Stars because she was a little heavy-footed.
Julie watched it. Julie's like, I think this is the Paso Doble or whatever. I was like, she knows all the dances on Dancing with the Stars.
Well, I'm sure the Dancing with Stars will say you got kicked off because your score and the people at home kicked you off. And they're not going to say it's because we already got our juicy story. We don't think there's another one in you.
Right. But the thing was they sent her off the stage and said she was safe.
Ooh.
And then they made Tyra Banks through Tyra Banks right under the
that's
bus.
That's right. And Tyra Banks did like a Steve Harvey at the Miss America.
Right.
And so then because you see Leo Tambagnoli or whatever who you saw at the gas station.
Oh my God, I'll never forget.
Bruno
Tambagnoli.
That's who we see.
Was that
Heather.
the same gas station was that at Westlake and Thousand Oaks Boulevard?
No, and by the way, it was at a 7-Eleven.
It was in the Miracle
right?
Mile.
Oh,
of course it was somewhere off Wilshire.
It was. He was. I think. I'm not.
By the way, if I ever have to audition, normally I would hope they'd just give me the role of being a judge on Dancing with the Stars, like a judge. Let me just tell you, for anybody listening out there that's an up-and-coming star that might one day be asked to be a judge, I think the way to be a judge on a show and get the part is to stand up. Mm-hmm. Just constantly go. Because whether you're the guy on The Masked Singer, the Asian guy, what's his name? He always stands up.
Ken Jeong.
And he just got his own show because he stood up.
He's hilarious.
Jenny McCarthy's great, but she doesn't stand up enough because she's probably wearing a tight dress and she's comfortable and she's like, whatever. You got to stand up and you got to say, you!
Listen.
You've got to stand up if you want this.
I think that we have found your next channel or whatnot, which is Heather McDonald's How to Be a Judge School.
Training school.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? And class 1. I mean, acting, schmacting schools.
Well, that fool stood up after she had led We're Safe and they went off the stage.
Relaxing.
Then Carrie Ann Inaba and him, who they both recently went platinum for whatever weird reason. So they're like, no, they can't. No. So they were the ones who were, Tyra Banks is like, but what?
Right. And she's reading from some cards and she's like, sorry, it's live TV. I had the wrong cards. Also, I don't know who chose this look.
The worst looks ever. And she probably couldn't breathe. Like, give her an outfit that's comfortable, that's size appropriate.
And then I had to go into a hole in my head about her talk show, which I feel like isn't really brought back enough now mentally for me. Like,
Let's
I
talk
forgot about
it.
it. I mean, did you watch it like a lot?
I did watch it sometimes, and then right when Chelsea Lately began, the hair and makeup people had come from Tyra because it was originally based in LA, and then it went to New York, and they never told her anything. She never said I'm discussing it. Not that you have to discuss it with your staff, but it was literally like they were blindsided. And I always and I also know this for a fact that they, according to these people, did not get bonuses, and their Christmas gift was iTunes gift cards for not a lot
For like
of money.
$50.
Wow.
I think it was more like 10.
Wow.
It was, but she always, that was her whole thing, was that she say, I'm cheap, I'm thrifty. I remember her being on Oprah before she got her talk show with all the Tyra deals, like how she's obsessed with like saving $1.
I didn't remember that about her, but I did remember that she was just unabashedly like corny. And I kind of like missed that.
I bet she thought she was sick of it and is biggest regret of her life. Because I don't think the show was canceled. I think it was something she chose to leave. I'm not sure. But, you do something and you're like, I'm tired of working 2 hours a day. And it was just like, what are you thinking again? Talk show host, once it's been on for a lot of years, really easy, you guys.
Yeah,
not a hard job. Do not give it up, dummy.
Well, even Oprah. Oprah now has another talk show.
Come back.
I always said that to her. I'm like, Oprah, what are you doing?
What are you thinking?
What are you doing?
She's like, I got to get out of this chair. Remember, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
I've got to get out of this chair. And then I looked at Julie. I'm like, she's back in the chair now. I guess she's ready for the chair.
Exactly, because she was like, oh, I guess, it's this or a podcast, and I'm not going to be like Michelle Obama. I'm better than she and Hillary. So like, I'm going to go back to being on TV and have my Apple streaming the conversation talk show.
I mean, I wish she never left.
We all wish she never left. Yeah. I remember when she was ending her run, and she had all these, like all the other talk show people that came up and clearly none of them had the staying power that she did. So I think it was kind of fun for her to invite them. Like, remember when you all were trying to do what I was doing? Ricky Lake, hi. Jenny Jones.
Donahue.
Donahue. What was the one with the red glasses?
Sally Jesse Raphael.
And they all come. And then she's like, so what was it like when it ended for you? I mean, your show ended. I'm creating my own network. So we have a little different thing going on. But tell me what it was like. I remember that.
Andy Cohen always says that, or he's famously said that he thinks that she should because I mean those shows are syndicated, so I don't know who owns them. And that's why they get so rich, like Judge Judy or whatever. But bring back those old Oprahs, because when I even see a clip of like an '80s Oprah, I mean, the level.
You can go on YouTube and they're like these Where Are They, like the Where Are They Nows, which are really good because it'd be like Where Are They Now? So it's almost like you get 2 episodes. She'll do like a Where Are They Now? And then you go back from like 10 years ago and you go, oh my God, I remember this. This is when, this really sad story. I mean, some of them are sad. But
God.
I mean, they're so, I talk about Oprah all the time of how certain episodes just.
Me too.
Affected my life. Like, oh my, and I still like think about them. And so, yeah, I think that it was so groundbreaking. And I always say this because like we had never been introduced to hoarding until Oprah introduced us to it. There was no hoarding shows. No one had ever talked about hoarding. And she's like, I'm going to tell you about, and here comes this beautiful older woman dressed to the nines, gorgeous. And then they show her fucking place. And you're like, what? And then they cleaned up the whole thing. And then they come back like 6 months later and there's shit on the dining room table and she hasn't washed her toilet. I'm like, I'm great. It's like when someone cleans up someone's, pays off their credit card bills and they get in debt again. You're like, really, bitch? Like, yeah.
That's why I always think if I ever won the lottery, I always think like, am I going to put my family on like a payment plan or how am I going to do this? Because I'm going to be annoyed how they spend the money.
Yeah.
And they're going to spend it all and then they're going to come back for more.
Yeah, that's
so it's
how,
like I feel like,
I mean, Oprah has those moments.
Yeah.
Think about all the time she helped someone to bail them out or put them on, a diet or got them plastic surgery or cleaned their house or whatever. And then she's like knocks on their door 3 years later and they're like, oh shit,
Hey, you got a car, you get a car, you get a car. Remember that one?
Right, yes.
Where do you think those cars are now?
She took everybody on a plane at one point. Mm-hmm. Think about Corona.
Think about Corona.
They all went from the audience.
Yeah, why didn't she get any shit?
Onto a plane. Like,
did you care about Phil Donahue?
I liked Phil Donahue. Phil Donahue was famous for always having men who like to dress up as women. They
He did all of it.
They didn't call them trans people. They called them cross-dressers, or they called them transvestites. That's how old the show was.
Yes, that's how old it was.
And so he was also groundbreaking in that respect. Like you
also
didn't
Connie
like
Chung.
And Connie Chung and Maury Povich.
Yes.
Of Maury Povich.
Well,
Yeah.
Maury Povich is still around.
Still around.
He's still going.
Doing the DNA test, yeah.
Oh.
Now he does DNA and a COVID.
And then his bodyguard. Is his bodyguard the one that got the show? That's
Jerry
No.
Springer.
Oh, okay.
That's
no,
Jerry
when
Springer.
the security guy got his own
Steve
show
Wilkos.
on Jerry's. Yeah.
Julie knows him. It bugs
Steve
so hard.
Wilkos.
Why does Steve Wilkos get his own show?
Listen, Steve did a lot of work for Jerry. You know what I mean? People
He does
ended up
fine,
really
though.
loving him. You know.
And he does fine on that
Jenny
show.
Jones' career ended.
And-
Why? Murder.
Yes. That's a classic story of they thought it would be fun to do a crush story. And so do you have a crush on somebody? So this gay guy said, I have a crush on my girlfriend, my friend who's a girl, her friend who's a guy. And we're going to let him know. So they call that guy who's living as a straight man, and they say, there's a crush. Someone has a crush on you. You want to come on the Jenny Jones show? And they always said, for sure, we were not, and they claim, the producers, because they had to go to trial, we said it could be a guy or a girl. They always said that, but there's no proof because it was a phone call, you know? So then they go to their thing, and he comes out, and there's the gay guy, and there's his friend, who's also his platonic female friend. And he's like, they're like, well, do you want to know who your crush is? And she's like, it's Jeffrey or whatever. And he's like, haha, and he smiles. And then they go out, they have a fun dinner. The guy even told somebody that they like kind of kissed, or the guy was like,
I didn't know that.
yes, the gay guy said we kind of kissed or something. And it was so much fun. And they all like ate together, and they like drove back or flew back together. And then the next day, the guy like woke up and realized this is going to be on TV. Maybe he was having gay feelings and didn't want to. And he went over there to the gay guy's house, and he shot him, killed him. Mm-hmm. And he immediately called the police and said, I shot this man, and he went to prison. But then it was a whole lawsuit about, is this Jenny Jones show responsible for putting this person who, you know, snapped like this into a situation. And they went through the whole trial. Jenny Jones was on trial. And in the end, because the victim's family was trying to sue the gay guy who died. And in the end, Jenny Jones and her show prevailed. The jury found they did not act in malice. This family is not owed any money. This is a really sad thing.
That was one of the first public times that we heard about the gay panic defense.
What's the gay panic defense? Someone panics because they're gay?
Gay panic is when the defense, which they kind of outlawed, but was used quite a bit, was that so, you know, if I come on to you,
right,
however, and you panic and kill me, that's defensible. So
right, you're right.
You know what I mean? So that's gay panic. I have now panicked you with my gayness, which
it does happen.
Is
you have panicked,
which is, you know, yeah, which let's say has happened. However, but that is literally the defense.
What was that other one? Was affluent defense. This kid they said he was so affluent that he acted reckless. No one had ever said no to him. So therefore, when he was drinking and driving and killed a bunch of people, he didn't know right from wrong because he was raised in such an affluent house with parents that were so not good as parents.
And did that work?
No.
Okay, good.
Gay panic has worked.
That's
which
horrible.
Is sad.
And Jenny Jones never been seen again, really.
Never,
and
really.
here's the story here.
Oh.
So she's very pissed. She did go on Heche to marry a guy, have a child named Homer, which I thought was the weirdest name because I always think of Simpson. And I don't think she's with that guy anymore. I think she's with someone else. And
I wonder if she'll go back to doing gay stuff.
I don't think so. Let's talk about Megan from Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire.
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Why?
Because I had forgotten about her. And when I say I love her, I hadn't thought about her. She had a little chihuahua. She was on a bunch of reality shows. I just want to thank you for bringing her back into my life. The minute I leave here, I will be watching all of those things again.
Well, let me tell you everybody else who the story behind this. So Megan Wants a Millionaire, Megan Hauserman, who I looked up. She looks to be, I don't know if she's in a relationship, but she definitely has a child, a boy, like 7 or something. She looks good. She's still like fit and cute. She was in the second Rock of Love, the second season of Rock of Love with Bret Michaels. You guys have heard of the show. It's basically like The Bachelor, except Bret Michaels is the Bachelor. Even though he still had a serious girlfriend at home, then he clearly did this show for money. And anyway, she lost. And so then she went on to do I Love Money, which was like you paired with somebody, and she was denied the $250 prize. But in one of these things, she had said, my goal in life is to be a trophy wife. And the producers at 51 Minds were like, oh my God, we got the show. Megan Wants to Marry a Millionaire. So they go and say, everyone, we were looking for guys that want to be on the show. They have to have at least $1 million, which doesn't mean that much even back in 2006. But like, if you can justify that you have equity in this house and this, and it adds up to $1 million, including like your car and your one watch, then you're good to do the show. And they said they did background checks and everything. And so she goes on to do this show, and by the first episode comes out, first or second episode comes out, and they have to cancel the whole show because one of the contestants, who we didn't know at the time, but went right to the end. He was like second runner up, but then she didn't choose him. He was one of the 3 finalists. After the show had wrapped and not aired, he went to Vegas, met a girl that night, or maybe no, they were on and off, got together with his old girlfriend. Don't laugh.
No.
And they got married in Vegas. And within like a week, she was found dead. And in a suitcase.
Yep.
And her teeth and her fingers were all missing because of teeth and fingerprints.
Oh my God.
But they realized who she was after finding this body within like 24 hours because of the silicone implants have a serial number.
Oh my God.
And he didn't think to cut those out.
Oh my God.
I remember, I
Which
think
one
that
is
was-
it?
they so this is the guy, and this is the girl, and
that suitcase wasn't it in? It was in a dumpster in L.A. I think
they went to San Diego. They were seen in San Diego. They were at a poker match. They were having fun. There was domestic like fights that they'd shared with their friends. He was super jealous, and she had like a couple guy friends that she would talk to and always freak out. And he was last seen coming back to the hotel at like 4 a.m. without her in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
And then that morning he left at 9 and he went back to his house in, I don't know where, like OC or something. He went back somewhere. And that night that he came back is when he said, I came back with my wife. Her name was Jasmine. I came back with Jasmine, but she's been missing all day now. No, she's been missing like for a day. She said she dropped me off after the San Diego trip. Now it's like 12 hours later. I've not heard from her. I don't know where she is. Now, he says that. I don't know where the body had already been found, but it had not been identified because they hadn't run the breast implant things. The brilliant person thought to do that, but still it took a minute, right? So he's saying she hadn't brought him home. Like the timeline didn't work out because nobody had even, then they said, oh, well, we found her. And, so then he, meanwhile, is like heading back to Canada. He's Canadian. And they're trying to get him, and they, I don't know if they arrested him, but anyway, within days. So they shut down the whole Megan Wants to Be a Millionaire, Marry a Millionaire, because they're like, oh my God, like we're not going to be able to watch this now. We know he's a suspect. They're looking for him or they arrest him. Within days, he checks into a hotel. They pay for 3 days up front. After they don't check up on time, the owner and his son go into the room and he has hung himself.
Oh my God.
I remember hearing about it from like Jillian Barbary. That's why I thought it was in L.A.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember that it was that show, but it's right that when that title of that show, it like didn't ring a bell because I guess it never went, or just that first episode or whatever.
And she said she really liked him. And she got his number through Facebook, and they would be talking on the phone during the taping, even though they weren't supposed to. And she was like, I really like you. Like, you're who I'm going to pick. And then the producers are like, who are you going to pick? And she's like, I want Ryan. And they're like, don't pick Ryan. He's weird in his confessionals, and the audience is not going to like that you picked Ryan. He's very different with you than he is in what we have filmed.
And he doesn't have $1 million, Megan.
Well, we don't know about that, because I think he was sort of a gambler, so he may have had.
Oh, okay.
And like a real estate developer. I don't, But so then she has to say goodbye to him, and he's pissed. He's really, really hurt and pissed because he really thought he was going to win. And there was some intel from friends or whatever that he was calling her because they were like on and off. And he said, I'm going to win this money, because you get money if you get chosen too. And we're going to be together. Like, he had no intention of being with Megan. But then he says to Megan, she calls him after, and she's like, I'm sorry, that I didn't pick you, but this is the way the show goes. I still really want to talk to you when this is done. And he's like, well, I'll tell you, I went to Vegas and I'm married to someone now because I was so hurt by your rejection. I married someone like within 2 days. And so she's like, oh, okay. I mean,
talk about dodging a bullet.
Wow.
Really? And then to find out that he
God.
it wasn't even like years of domestic violence. I mean, it was like 2 weeks and he murders her.
But then I wonder,
does
was
the
it an
disgusting
accident?
stuff? Do you imagine them
No.
taking out the teeth? And that's
that
what's
is
so
intense.
gross.
That
Because
is
you're
so
like,
intense.
maybe he accidentally, it even could have been like an overdose, or he choked her out. Something like it. There are innocuous ways to kill people. But now you're going to cut someone's teeth out? I don't think so. I'm going to have to I'm not going to be able to cut off your fingers and cut your teeth out of your head. Where was he doing this too, by the way? Did he have a full hacksaw?
We don't really know, because
exactly.
once he killed himself, they kind of shut the case. They
I mean, who else has he killed?
I mean,
That's the first time you kill someone and then pull their teeth out and cut their fingers off. He's killed other things.
He had a domestic violent thing happen, and they were very upset with the agency that missed that. So then that changed the way these shows worked from that point on, how they really had to do much more thorough background checks of people and psychological tests and everything. But they said they did the psychological test for this, where they did I took one of those psychological tests because I was going to be on Catfish.
Ugh. Did you get catfished?
I went down to Encino and I took the whole test. And where you answer all those questions. Have you ever done that? Executives do it. They repeat them to make sure that you're and
it's weird stuff. It's like, if you had, it's just kind of weird
questions.
scenarios.
And the test is from the 40s.
Yeah.
So I'm like, does this test still really apply? But anyway.
When your husband comes home, do you get him a beer or some milk?
It was a lot about you true or false, you like what you do, or you want to, or you would want to be a scientist, and then you
people
oh,
pleaser,
this is what it is. Yeah, it's you want to be a scientist, and then you'd say no, and then a few questions that they're you'd want to study science, and so then I guess the way it works is, if those questions aren't consistent, then you're lying. And that's alerting them to something that's weird.
Yeah.
Or that you don't know yourself or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, no, my catfish story is they were going to do a catfish on celebrities who have horrible trolls, where I could meet my troll. And
great idea.
And we went really far in it. I remember I talked to the producer, and she goes, so who do you think this troll is? What kind of a person? And I go, well, she's presenting herself as a 21-year-old NYU student. I go, there's no way. I go, I think it's a 45-year-old bitter mom. I just can't imagine the 21-year-old New York NYU student would
she doesn't
hate
have the
me
time
this much.
Yeah.
And she's like, and then she said something you're going to be surprised. And then they just said, no, we're not using you. You're too old.
Really? Or maybe it really was a 21-year-old NYU. Or
maybe
it
was.
Didn't agree. It wasn't about you being too
maybe
old.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, it must have just been not an interesting
I don't
enough
know.
story.
I don't even know if I don't remember
know.
seeing that season.
Yeah.
So they may have squashed the whole celebrity side of that anyway, and go back to just their regular dating, some guy that doesn't exist.
That was probably the same scenario as that, where somebody, because there was a story about, it was a boxer or someone don't you guys remember where this person kept like harassing them online, and the guy got his address and went to his house and punched him right in the face?
Yes.
Like I think there was a thing where it was like, oh, we don't want to do a confronting of.
They did another show, and I remember Joe Francis was on it, and like Kim Kardashian, and it was like trying to turn the person that hates you around to be a fan. So then they would like meet them for lunch. I do that sometimes when people give me shit. Someone gave me shit the other day for going to lunch with my friends, because we're in a pandemic, so you're never allowed to go outside. And I was like, well, we practiced safety, and I've actually gotten a COVID test, and da-da-da. And then she just kept going on. And then I wrote, and I said, oh, I was hoping to take you to lunch. You don't want to meet me for lunch outside somewhere? Like you wouldn't want me to treat you to a cute lunch? Because we're in a pandemic. So you're never going to go to lunch with me outside. Like we don't have to hug, or you just don't want to go. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I just like deleted it. But it was just like, come on. Like I love like turning around and being like, oh, I was hoping to take you on a trip. But now I saw a mean tweet that you said about me. And so I guess
we saw something where you were like, well, aren't you delightful? Or
yes,
thank you, though. You're such a delight.
Sound like such a delight, yeah. Sound like a lot of fun. Sound like a lot of positive vibes happening. So, Brandy and Julie, we still have so many more hot topics. We are going to do a whole nother show and release it in a couple weeks because we want people to get wet for you. We don't want them to be ODing on you.
Yeah.
But tell everybody where they can get more of the Brandy and Julie dynamic duo here.
We have a podcast called Dumb Gay Politics. So beware. It is not unbiased.
Okay.
The name says it all.
Okay.
But if you're not, the podcast is for people who love Bravo and don't love the news and don't really know much about the news and don't pay a lot of attention.
Yeah.
It's just for people to learn, come find out what's going on and hear us scream and act insane.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a Patreon podcast where we don't do anything political, and there's no ads, and it is a lot of opinions, but it's
not political though. It's everything else. Stories.
Great.
Life,
one time Julie
personal.
ate a hard-boiled egg with a shell on it. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We do food.
Oh,
because she does.
I'm a garbage dumpster. That's why.
Great.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Have you ever seen
food
a human being eat a hard-boiled egg with the shell still on it?
No, I have not. But you can find that on your Patreon. That's great.
Yes, you can. That's true.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Songs, poems.
Love it. Okay, great.
Spoken word.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.